Ellarigu Namaskara. I hope you all are doing good. Welcome back to the Little Things. I'm Chaitanya. I have been creating Canadian PR related videos for quite some time now, and currently I'm working on the IELTS video series for you guys. We are just a couple of subscribers away from reaching the 300 subscriber mark. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then please do consider subscribing to the channel. So today's video is going to be all about our IELTS story. Why did we take up IELTS? Which format? Which module? How did we prepare for our IELTS? What are the materials that we used? How was our exam day experience? What band score did we achieve? So all these questions will be answered in today's video. First, let me quickly answer all the why, which, when and wheres. So first question, why IELTS? We wanted to apply for Canadian Permanent Residence Express Entry program, and it's mandatory for the non-native English language speakers to take up IELTS to prove their English proficiency. So that's the reason why we took up IELTS. Next question, which module of IELTS did we take? As you might know, there are two different modules, academic and general training or GT module. Now, academic is for people who are interested in pursuing higher studies, and GT is for people interested in employment and immigration. So obviously we went for the GT module. Next question, which format? As I've already discussed in detail in one of my previous videos, there are two test formats, paper and computer based. So personally we thought we would be more comfortable with the paper-based format. Although we were using computer on a regular basis for our work, we still felt that our writing speed was much better compared to our typing skills. And also throughout our life, all the exams that we had ever given was a paper-based format. So we thought we would just be more comfortable. So these are the two reasons why we actually went for the paper-based format. And also back then we didn't know much about the pros and cons of these two formats. Who knows, if we had known about these things back then, maybe we would have chosen the computer based format itself. Next question, which organization did we book our IELTS test lot with and how much did it cost us? Now if you have already watched our IELTS myth video, then you already know about this. We did book our test with IDP, falling for the myth that IDP tests are much easier compared to British Council, which we later found out to be untrue. Back then we paid a fee of 12,650, but currently the IELTS test fee is 14,000 INR. Next question, where and when did we take up our IELTS exam? We took our IELTS in Jan 2019. Our reading, writing and listening test were on Jan 5th. And it was conducted in the Capital Hotel, Bangalore. Speaking was on Jan 7th and it was conducted in Hotel Monarch Luxor, again in Bangalore. Now I have a very funny story to share with you all about the venue of IELTS test. I'll save it for later. Now let me share with you all our IELTS story. When we decided to get our Canadian PR, to be honest, we didn't know anything about it. What is this process? How to go about it? What are the requirements? Absolutely nothing. The very first time when we got to know that we'll have to give IELTS is when we approached our consultancy for the very first time in June 2018. So this person from the consultancy gave us a brief idea about the Express Entry program, and since my husband had done his graduation and I had completed post-graduation, he told us that I would be the primary applicant. He also told us about the very famous golden score of 8777 and how it could get us a CLB band 9. He told us it was very important for the primary applicant to get this score in order to get a higher CRS score. He also told us that if the secondary applicant could manage to get a score of 6 to 7, that should be more than enough, because back then the score was somewhere around 450s, so if you could manage to get this kind of score, it was more than enough. But things have changed now, isn't it? So he told us to get our ECA done from this and to give IELTS, and once we are done with both these steps, they will go ahead and create a profile for us. So we said okay, and we came back from there. As I've shared with you guys already in my West video, I came here to YouTube and I started watching all these videos to find out whether I have to get my West done first or to give IELTS, and eventually we decided to go ahead with WES, so IELTS took a back seat. So once WES was done, we had to prepare for IELTS. Actually, our consultancy had provided us with online study material which was valid for 1 month's time. We started preparing for it, but it was so vast and extensive that we could hardly finish 10% of it amidst our busy work schedule. We requested them whether they could extend the time frame. They said no, and if they had to, then we had to pay some extra money. We said no thanks, and we decided we will go ahead and prepare by ourselves using the online material that's available. So like most of us, I too came to YouTube and I started searching for all these videos about IELTS, how to prepare for IELTS, which are the study materials that we can use for our preparation. I wanted to know about people's personal story and experiences about IELTS and things like that. Initially, I was shocked to find out that people were taking 3 to 4 attempts to get the score of 8777. I mean, these people seem to be pretty good with their English for me, and if they couldn't do it in one go, then we were scared whether we could do it, because we basically thought our English skills were pretty average. And then I saw a couple of videos by Shilpa. She has a YouTube channel called Native Goan. I don't know why she has not been creating content of late, but back then she used to regularly create videos regarding Canadian PR and lifestyle kind of videos, and I used to like them a lot. So she had created these videos about her Canadian PR experience, how to achieve 8777 in IELTS, and I like these videos, and I have a couple of reasons for this. Firstly, she had scored the score of 8777 in her first attempt itself. So this kind of gave me the confidence that if I put in a lot of hard work, then there's a chance that even I could do this in my first attempt itself. To be honest, we wanted to clear our IELTS in the first go itself because the fee itself was a bit costly, and neither of us come from very well settled background. So to give IELTS multiple number of times was not an option, and it was not affordable for us. This is also the reason why we didn't opt for any coaching for IELTS. Also think about it, if you don't clear it in one go and when you go for the second attempt, I just feel there is some additional pressure on yourself, and I knew very well about myself and I didn't think I could handle that kind of pressure. So to clear IELTS in the first go itself was the only way out. Second thing is, she also suggested various resources and study materials that she used to prepare for IELTS. I blindly started following that, and I also purchased a couple of books which she had suggested. One was Essentials of English Grammar, second was Barron's IELTS Strategies and Tips. So if I'll have to give you all a review of these two books, then I can say that my English grammar is not that great at all. So when I started reading the grammar book, I found it to be a bit complex and complicated. And there were so many things in the book which I was probably reading for the first time in my life. So I wouldn't recommend this book. But in case of Barron's, it's a really great book. It's very simple and easy to understand. This book has almost all the different kinds of questions that could come up in IELTS, practice modules for each of the questions, strategies and tips that you could follow, and practice tests for each of the 4 test components. The test format itself, there's a lot of information. But there's one catch to it. In the writing section of this book, instead of part 1 letter writing for GT, they have academic stuff like graphs and charts. So except for this drawback, this is a really good book which really helped us to prepare well for our IELTS. So I would highly recommend this book. Third thing that I really liked about her videos is one tip which she gave about booking the test slots. So what I was doing before was, I was not seriously preparing for IELTS, not even like 1 hour a day. I would probably watch some videos on my way to office and then do a couple of practice tests over the weekends. That's about it. As a result, I never felt prepared enough for the test. Due to this, I would keep on postponing booking our test slots as I felt I was not ready, and I would say that only when I'm ready for the test, only then I'll be booking the slots. But when I watched her video, she said that she first booked her test slots and then started preparing it because now she had no other option than to prepare for the test. I can say that I was enlightened by her words because I knew unless there's a sword swinging over my head, I wouldn't get serious about this. By this time, I had wasted a lot of time and it was November already. So we went ahead and booked our test slots for Jan 2019 and we had roughly 5 to 6 weeks of time to prepare for the IELTS and there was no looking back now. So if you're someone who has been delaying booking your test slots just like me, then please don't do it. So now let me share with you all how our exam preparation looked like. First of all, we both were not working in general shifts. His was the night graveyard shift and mine was afternoon shift, and both our companies were located in tech parks near Marthali. Anyone from Bangalore would know this. We would spend a solid 3 to 4 hours every day for the commute itself because of the traffic jam. As a result, we didn't have enough time to prepare together. So what we decided that we would prepare individually and over the weekends we would share notes with each other. Let me share with you all first my husband's preparation. He was kind of chilled out because he didn't have to score the 8777. All he wanted was a band 6 or 7. So first he completed working on all the modules in Barron's. After that he would do maybe one test of reading, writing or listening on every alternative days. That's about it. Speaking of my preparation, I had to put in a lot more effort than this because the pressure of scoring 8777 was on me. So my prep would start with my commute to the office. During this 1.5 to 2 hours of time which I would spend on road, I would watch countless YouTube videos about IELTS. Videos from Liz, IELTS Advantage, E2 IELTS, you name it, I have seen them all. I would try to learn new words to enhance my vocabulary, to find out material which would help me understand grammar in the simplest way. Basically, I had dedicated this time to educate myself about the general things about IELTS, its format, and to basically gather information about the writing and speaking test components. Once I reached office, it would be work, work, work. So by the time I would log out, it would be 10 in the night and I would be really exhausted by looking at the screen for so long all through the day. As a result, I couldn't strain my eyes anymore. So what I would do is, on my way back to home, I would listen to all these audio clips in English which would help me in understanding different accents better. By the time I would reach home, it would be 11:30 in the night. Then for the next 2 hours, I would sit and work on my grammar and also do modules from Barron. Once I completed Barron, every day without miss, I would do one listening and one reading test each, no matter how tired I was. So by the time I would sleep, it would be 1:32 and this is how my weekdays looked like. And over the weekends, we would do more practice tests and would exchange whatever we would have learned throughout the week. And this is how we prepared for our IELTS. I would like to add something here. Now, I was never fixated with the score of 8777 when I was preparing for IELTS. There's a reason to this. You know how our teachers say that if you aim for distinction, all you will get is first class, and if you aim for first class, you might end up getting second class marks, right? And I totally agree with them. If you are only thinking about scoring 8777, then there are chances that you might not actually get that score. The higher you aim, the better will be your score, and that's what I'll suggest you guys as well. My primary focus was on reading and listening because I knew if I put in a lot of hard work, then there's a chance that I can score a perfect 9 in both these modules. And coming to writing, I knew that my writing was not that bad, and speaking was the most difficult test out of the 4 for me, about which maybe I'll talk in a separate video in detail. So in a way, writing and speaking kind of took the back seat, and that eventually reflected on my score. So I would suggest give equal importance for all the 4 test components. Now let me talk about our exam experience itself. You remember in the beginning of this video I told you that I have a funny story to share with you guys about the venue. So here it is. So what happened was, like many other things, I was clueless about how the IELTS tests are conducted. So when we booked our test slots and we got the confirmation, it was mentioned that the test would be conducted in hotels. Now I was like confused because all my life, whatever exams I had appeared for, all were conducted in educational institutes, and this was something completely new for me. So naturally I was a bit skeptical, and having this thought in my head, when I reached the exam venue, I saw that there were like some 500 people who were taking the test alongside us. So here's the funny part. I happened to hear the test organizers to be conversing in Tamil amongst themselves. Now I don't want any of you to get offended. Maybe you can consider me to be lame or silly, but I started feeling that the entire setup is a scam. Now exam pressure could be one of the reasons, but the actual reason for me to feel this way is because of my movie fixation. I watched this awesome Tamil movie called Saduranga Vettai where they scam people. So this being an English exam and these people talking in Tamil, I thought that this should be a scam, and it only made my suspicion grow stronger. Somehow amidst this suspicion only, I gave my reading, writing and listening test, and we both felt that we had done good in our test. Then came the speaking test, which was again in a hotel, and this time around it was conducted in small separate rooms, and again they were talking in Tamil. You won't believe me, I used to believe that all this is a scam until the time we received the physical copies of our TRFs. How stupid of me. And yeah, speaking of the test itself, I felt that I did horribly in my speaking test, and as soon as I was done with it, my husband was waiting for his turn, and I came and I told him that I didn't do well and maybe I'll have to reappear for my test. Let's talk about the results now. Now since we had opted for paper-based test, we had to wait for 13 long days to get our results. This was one of the worst time ever, where we were anxious each and every day thinking whether we have done it or not done it. But yeah, eventually the day came and I can clearly remember it. The results would be announced online first, and we were even scared to check the results, So let me share with you all how much we scored in IELTS. My husband scored 7.5 in listening, 6 each in reading and speaking, and 6.5 in writing, and he got an overall band score of 6.5. He was really happy because that's what he was aiming for. Now let's look at my score. Somehow miraculously I scored 7 each in writing and speaking and 8.5 each in listening and reading. I got an overall band score of 8. As I said, my score very much reflected the amount of time I spent on each of the test component. But anyway, we were really happy and jumping with joy after seeing our results because we had done it. We had got the desired score in our first attempt itself, and we had successfully completed one of the important steps in our Canadian PR journey. So yeah, this is our IELTS story, and the reason why I shared this story with you all guys with such detail is I know that IELTS is really difficult, and you could see how much efforts we put in day in and day out. There were times when we were doubtful whether we can make it or not, but we didn't stop at it. We kept going. So if there's one thing that I would like to tell you guys out of our IELTS experience, then it is to not give up on your hope and your dreams, and always remember why you are doing this. If you are determined to put in efforts, then you can definitely do this just like us. So don't give up and keep at it. All the very best. I hope you guys have liked this video, and if you would like to show some love and support, then please do like, share and subscribe to the channel. I guess that's it for the day guys, and I hope to see you all soon in my next video. I wish for all of us to be blessed with abundant love, peace and happiness. Take care, and do remember, life's all about the little things.